Hi guys, welcome to another Incredible Hulk podcast, and we are discussing this time a story called The Waterfront Story, which was the last episode of season 1. It was written by Paul M. Balouse and Robert Waterstorff, and directed by Reza Badia. I get all the big names to read out. I don't even know if I've said that correctly or not. And I'm joined by Graham to talk about this story. How are you there, Graham?
Yeah, no, Frankie, always a pleasure, mate. Good to be back.
Lovely, man. It starred, of course, the regular team of Bill Bixby as Banner, Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, and, of course, Jack Colvin as Mr. McGee.
That pesky Mr. McGee, yes.
Ever recurring boil on Banner's backside.
Careful, yeah.
I had to think really carefully there. Although we've said a lot worse on these shows.
Indeed, yes.
So I've been a bit too polite at the beginning of this, but yeah, you never know how things pan out. It might get worse as we go along. But co-starred Sheila Larkin as Josie, and some of you might not know that Sheila Larkin later on in her career played Margaret Scully, Dana Scully's mum in The X-Files.
There you go.
So
some 20 years later, yeah.
Yeah. So some of you might not know that, but I just thought I'd throw that in. Also starred James Sicking as Cliff MacDonald, Jack Kelly as Tony Kelly, that runs in the family, Helen Page Camp as Sarah, Ted Markland as Marty Hammond, and William Benedict as the old boy Vic. Old Vic.
Yeah, with a dodgy back.
Yeah. When he felt like it, yeah. So here we go then, Graham, and step in, please, as much as you like, because I tend to find myself...
the first thing that struck me as soon as this thing opened was, we've got big Lou Ferrigno on the screen, and I'm going, okay, well, what the hell's going down here? He's already helped out. There's a bit of shenanigans going on in down by the docks, and at one point, if you didn't know what was going on, you would have thought you would have jumped in halfway through a story. You're like, what? But no, apparently this was just pure setup to illustrate the fact that David had been in this place for a while and had been working at Josie's behind the bar. So
I think we find out after that Hulk bit happens and he runs off. You see the next morning and David's like sneaking around, around the docks, and he sees McGee over there. He's straight on the scene as usual.
Yep.
And overhears, the guy, the witness guy saying. So that gives you an idea of what the Hulk out was, even though we didn't see it. The guy says,
statement,
he actually saved my life, that creature, the Hulk. Because two guys were setting upon me at the dock there, and he tried to help us, and he got beaten up.
Yep.
So we get a little bit of a slight backstory as to why that happened. He was obviously just passing through there,
Indeed.
And as David always does, he does try to help. So, So anyway, he's obviously, as usual, when a Hulk out occurs, he wants to get out of town. He's always nervous, hanging around. So he goes to the place where he works, as you said, Graham, the bar that he works. It's on the docks, to see Josie, who's the owner of the place. That's Sheila. Say, I've got to go. Sorry, I've got a job coming up in New Orleans or something. He says, and I've got to leave. And it seems to imply that they both got a little bit of a romantic thing going on for the last few weeks as well.
Even big green guys leave not when need love tea, I suppose. But no, it's implied. I'll give you that. What I did find interesting was the other waitress or the bartender in the place. What was her name?
A character name is Sarah.
Sarah, the slightly older, bunkish country girl who just basically doesn't take any shit for anybody, and even at one point in this episode, even befriends the Hulk at some point after a bar fight. You're like, she's got
a great voice as well. I really like her voice. Well, howdy.
Yeah, there you go. So, you're right.
I was convinced, I had to check her out on Wikipedia, that the actress, her name's Helen Page Camp. Mm-hmm. And I was convinced she was the voice of the receptionist in Hong Kong Phooey, because they sound so similar.
Oh, okay.
But alas, she wasn't. It was someone else. But I was absolutely convinced it was her, because her voice is so like that.
Yeah.
Hey, all, and all that. I really was.
Yeah, I would have been about the same time period.
Yes, that's right. And Scatman Crothers, incidentally, did Hong Kong Phooey, did appear in a Hulk story as well.
There you go.
My Favourite Magician, he was in that. And he was called McGee in it, which unnerved David when he didn't before he saw him.
There you go. That's one for later on down the pike, you know. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. So
yeah, he was a great character.
David's been working here for a few weeks. He's struck up a chord with Josie, and you get her backstory where her husband seemingly passed away, and she's just getting out of her funk. Yeah. And then you find out that there's more to that as the story unfolds. Amidst a game of unions and politics and red herrings.
Yes. And it's to do with the presidency, isn't it, of the docks?
Mm-hmm. The union or the docks? The
union. Sorry, it was all about the union, really, wasn't it? Docks and unions, power struggles at the unions and stuff. And they get like a presidential candidate that goes forward to be, you know, whatever. And Frank, her late husband, was the original president.
Indeed.
But because there's so much going on in this, then they felt, and they were jealous or, you know, envious of the fact that he did well, and they were trying to shut him out of it and trying to get the position themselves. So there's a lot of corruption going on.
Oh, that's remitted than that. They actually uncovered some dodgy dealings as well, wasn't it, on the docks where there was cargo getting shipped in for, I believe it was Japan, to get sold on the black market.
That's right.
So,
but interestingly, this time it wasn't sort of like heavy stuff like drugs and that. It was like sort of television sets and stereos.
No, you're talking the 70s, man. You're talking stuff that's not exactly. It's illegal stuff. It's just how you acquired it that was illegal.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. Black market stuff. That's what it. Yeah. So anyway, Josie persuades David to stay on for a while because she's still grieving from her husband's death, and she needs that companionship, and so she leans on David a wee bit, you know.
Yep.
So he agrees to stay for a while, a bit longer, and he goes fishing with her.
Oh yes, fish in the morning. Yes.
And they do actually catch a fish, and the way that rod's bending, you think he was catching a great white shark.
I was expecting Roy Schneider to come running along the beach and saying, "Get out the water," you know. But alas, it didn't happen, you know.
But it was only like a little fish, about 6 inches or something.
Even give it a wee kiss. You're like, ooh.
He goes, okay. Yeah, give us a kiss, love. He goes, oh, I would never do it. No, that was horrible. But anyway, it was quite a funny little scene, and they you know, they're getting together. And
what I did find interesting, though, just before we go to the fishing scene and the whole. You see how the friendship or whatever developed. Was you've got the two candidates for the presidency.
Yeah.
You've got her late husband's partner, what's his name again?
Cliff.
Yeah. Who you think, okay, he's a decent guy. And then you've got the other guy who, swerve a lot, seems to be the asshole of the bunch.
Yeah.
And then you find out later on, hang on a minute, it's actually Cliff. But that's for later on in the story. Yeah,
it's the opposite, complete opposite. Yeah. You think this guy's like the one that's causing all the grief, but he's actually not. You know, he actually did care about her husband and stuff. You know. But so they have the little fishing scene.
Yep.
And then that guy you just spoke about, Kelly, the one who
Kelly, that's the one,
right? Yep. Turns up with that or the guy that he's with though Marty. Is actually a bad egg. He's to be fair,
we should point out that the fishing scene took place after a scene where Cliff get beat up in the office. So at this point, they believed that.
Was that after that bit?
Yeah, because at this point, they believed that Kelly sent the thugs after Cliff.
Oh yes, of course, that's right. Yeah. Because as they're coming along to the place where where the Cliff's office.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a funny little bit just before that as well, where McGee walks along.
Oh, he's touching his shin, yeah.
Just to avoid him, So she's going, what's the matter with you? It's all right, it's just...
Charlie horse, yeah.
So they're coming in there, and then, of course, the door bursts open, and these three thugs run out, with balaclavas on. I think, what the hell happened here? And find Cliff lying on the ground unconscious. And that's how that kind of leads into it. And... Cliff says he's convinced that it was one of Kelly's. It was Kelly was behind it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you fast forward to after the fishing trip, Kelly pulls up, and that's where we are right now.
Yeah, and he
for some reason, Josie's endorsement is.
He was trying to sort of win around and stuff, and And as it turns out, his reaction was genuine. You know, we find out later when she says, "Oh yeah, your lot came around and roughed up Cliff," and he goes, "I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't resort to tactics like that, you know, and all this, you know."
Yeah, you don't know at the time, but yeah.
Yeah. So they drive off anyway. But that guy Marty that's with him, the kind of he's a real trouble.
The guy with the big moustache, yes.
Yeah. Real 70s. The big hair and the moustache, yeah.
And there's several other actors with that type of look, but we'll not get into that. This is a kids' show.
They did. Yeah, it was a trend at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Along with the jazz music. But anyway,
all the big medallions on the
Miami Vice. So Marty hatches a plot to sway Josie, and inadvertently starts a bar fight.
That's right. He says, "I'll make her come round" or something.
Yeah, he puts a fish head in somebody's beer.
So the fish returns. I think it's the same for David.
Yeah, fish. Return of the fish. Yeah,
put a fish in the picture of beer. Yeah,
yeah. There you go.
Which causes, obviously a big ruckus.
A big ruckus ensues.
And David unfortunately gets caught in the crossfire. And I like the way they did the eye change bit. Where they sort of like. Swinging, they got him lifted up in the air and they're swinging towards
through the saloon doors, like they're getting chucked out of a Western saloon.
Yeah, and it's like a Western fight, where everyone's having a pop, the women, everything, all the bar stools being taken over. And
although this is where I've got to nitpick, and you realise that it's season one, especially when you've got Luther Rignall and his wig chasing these fellas around the bar in super slow motion.
Yeah,
you stand there, you stand, and it's like. The actors are barely even moving.
Yeah.
B, they're trying to slow it down as much as possible with the camera work, but it's just not working. And you're like, I know you're trying to save on the budget, boys, but this doesn't age well.
It does a good bit of property damage in that, though. I've got to admit, it's some good stuff.
No, the property damage is fine. It's the actual physical scenes between the guys on screen, and they're like trying to surround them or back off, or you're like, oh dear.
And they're sort of doing like a little run around the pool table and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like ring a ring of roses. You're like.
And he breaks the pool ball in his hand. All the dust flies everywhere, and he shunts them, and they fly over the pool table.
Of course, somebody's probably made a gif for that and said, "Oh, look, the Hulk's on cocaine."
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, they do manage eventually to get the hell out of there, and the whole bar clears.
Yep. And this is where,
and that's when it's just as you say, Sarah and the Hulk.
Yeah,
and she takes it quite well.
Place to hide out in the back room while the cops come in.
Which gives him time to change back to Banner. While she's kind of like telling her story about, what happened and everything to the cops. Yeah. There was a green man in there. He goes, green? And then they're all a little bit, like, what the hell are you talking about? And David comes back to David. Here's a knocking
and hightails out the window.
Yeah, just in time through that little window. And just but a freckle in the hair gets away from her. But, that was
so. Yeah. As a result of this, the following morning, when Josie shows up and her bar's been absolutely tarnished, she basically snaps and says, "Okay, Cliff, I'll give you my endorsement." Now, for some reason, for the first half of this episode, it's established that her endorsement is basically going to win whoever gets at this election. I get it, former president's wife or widow or whatever. Okay, has she really got that much sway in the town nowadays? To serve people drink. I mean,
yeah. It's funny because she sort of caves in quite quickly over it, and she says, like, you take anything.
Well, at this point, she's adamant that it's Kelly, and she said, "Okay, now if I give him, man,
especially after the fight scene as well, and the wreckage, she thinks it's Kelly behind it, Yeah. Luckily for her, the property damage is covered by insurance, so she's lucky in that.
Yeah, always buy insurance, folks.
Yeah. Definitely very important, especially because you never know when a Hulk out might happen.
Yeah.
But what's wonderful there is that David again comes back to her feeling guilty for what happened, wants to try and help clean up the place and pray for
And then it says, "Sorry, sweetheart, but I've got to leave." Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go.
And for the second time, he's saying goodbye. Yeah, he's got to go again.
Yeah.
This time round, he's more, pretty adamant. And he would have gone had the thing that later on didn't happen. Didn't occur.
Just per chance, he saw Cliff at the docks.
Yeah, exactly. McGee's on the scene.
right hand man.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. McGee's on the scene again at the bar after the wreckage and tries to get a story from Josie. And of course, as soon as she sees that he's from the National Register, she says, "I don't like your newspaper." Bugger off, basically.
Yeah,
he always get that reaction, doesn't he?
until you get to about season 4, yeah.
Yeah, when it hots up a wee bit, yeah. But of course, as we said, David arrives at the bar and he says, "Look, I've got to do some. Can I just help to pay for the damage?" He obviously feels bad about it. Eventually, says he's got to move on to New Orleans. But as we say, he hangs around the docks a little while after that, and eavesdrops on Cliff and Marty. And that's when things start hotting up. That's when he realises Cliff's not what he seems.
That's when the red herring's out the bag.
Yeah, that's right.
So it turns out Marty and Cliff, accidentally or not, were the ones who killed Frank.
And, alarm bells are ringing now, Yeah. And meanwhile, back at Cliff's office.
Frank's office.
Frank's office, sorry.
Yeah.
Josie's there, and she plays this cassette tape, doesn't she? She's playing music, and then something...
Minding her own business, chilling to some tunes, and then, boom, there's a confession on 8-track tape, or a cassette tape, rather.
Yeah. Which, pretty much says enough of what she needs to know that, who...
Well, it incriminates Marty right away, yeah. His name's mentioned as Cliff walks in.
And Cliff walks in, takes the cassette, he's keeping that very close to his chest. But he looks nervous about what, because he knows he has to do something. He has to act upon this now. But he's kind of
he managed to stop the cassette before his name was mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. Pivotal moment. But I think and then she finds out, of course, that he actually was behind it.
Well, that's later on. After we're going on what seems to be the longest car ride in TV history, you're like, you know, I got to the docks. What the hell?
Yeah, the bar was meant to be on the docks. It couldn't have been that far away.
While this is going on, David gets back to the bar and borrows Fingy's car because she wanted to pick up he attempts to phone the office, and then Cliff picks up and says, "No, sorry, no here," even though she's shouting in the background. So
yes, that's right. He was there. He heard her call out. Yeah. And so David acts upon it. He says, "Can I borrow your car, Sarah?" Yeah, sure. And call the police while you're at it. Something's happening here. So
there you go.
That sets up that part, and then we get the real confession that comes out from Cliff.
While you're in the warehouse,
he drives her in there, doesn't he? And Marty locks the door, the shutter thing, and then he reveals it. You think he got out of hand, I wanted to win this race and all
gambling debts, wasn't it?
Yeah,
stock market and gambling debts.
Yeah. So a lot happening there.
Yeah.
And then they tie her up and gag her. And
and
knock her out. I think, or silent. No, I thought they just
put a gag tape out. They didn't knock her out.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't know. They didn't knock her out at that point. That's right. And that was later. That happened later on by accident.
Yep.
They got locked in the warehouse, and David has arrived.
Entering by the roof.
Yeah, he scales the roof and is looking through the windows and sees her there, and gets in through this sort of like a ladder thing through the window.
Well, an airloft thing, an air shaft in the roof. Yeah, and
unties her and everything, and she says what happened. They were responsible for Frank's death. He said, "I know. I've found a few things out. We've got to get out of here." Blah blah blah.
While this is going on, you've got Marty and Cliff outside trying to bribe the captain to take her on the ship.
Yes,
and have her sleeping with the fishes.
That's right. We can lock her in one of those crates where they've been smuggling all those things, and throw her out into the sea. So yes, they had murder in mind, definitely.
Again,
yeah.
Accident in my ass. Yeah.
Get rid of the husband, now get rid of the wife.
Yeah.
He's bloodthirsty, that fella. Yeah.
There you go.
So David and her are frantically trying to get out of the warehouse. Now, of course, they've just been seen by Cliff and Marty.
Captain who has no name. Yeah.
And they give chase. Yeah. And there's a wonderful bit here, camera work. I really did enjoy, Graham. When they're running and you've got the camera tracking.
Panning back. Yeah.
Yeah, pulling back. I thought that was really good. Yeah. Cranked up the tension a lot.
There you go.
Good bit of camera work there. I like that. But anyway, she does get knocked out, obviously at the right moment, because she doesn't see the Hulk out. But she trips and knocks her head and she's out, unconscious. And
they both get caught and pushed in the crate.
That's right, yeah. They usher them in, lock the crate, put it on the forklift, and they're raising it up into the air to put onto a container or a containment thing or whatever it is. But of course, David hulks out in the crate.
Yep, into the Hulk.
A wonderful moment where he just smashes out of the box, and they go, "What the hell?"
Yeah. And here's where my second nitpick lies. Again, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's when he ends up on the docks and he's fighting people again.
Yeah.
You get the over-exaggerated as they're getting thrown in the river.
Yeah.
You get the part where the two guys are going at him with the two sticks and he yanks them forward. And you're going, okay, yeah. So I realise you're extras, guys. I realise you're playing bit parts, but show a bit of decorum, for God's sake. Jesus. Make it the best yelp you've got. Don't do this. You're not in a buddy cop movie.
So they get thrown up. They get thrown out up in the air into the water.
Yeah.
And then Cliff and Marty are trying to get away in the car, and he grabs the back of it and pulls the.
Oh yes, yeah. He's holding it. What? Who's holding it? He's holding it. He's holding it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It looks like a good double take. Yeah, he's holding it. He's holding it.
Oh man!
And as they try and pull off, he rips the what do you call it, at the back of the bumper or whatever it is, at the back of the.
Oh yeah, the loading truck part. And it speeds off and skids sideways.
That's right. And they smash into a car and stuff. And
lo and behold, here come the dumbass cops who've basically been ineffective all episode.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's always a cliche, and they always turn up at the wrong moment. Yeah, they're never there on time, are they?
No.
But that's just. It always seems to be a traumatic thing. That they always say they always get there at the wrong time.
So meanwhile, Josie's been placed next to a barrel. They let her come round. And when she opened her eyes, who's the first thing she sees? Fucking McGee. You're like, give that girl some air.
And the first thing he says, "Would you like to give me a statement?"
And then it was just the glare, and he went, "I think I'll."
She didn't have to say anything. She just gave him the look, and he thought, "I think I better leave."
Yeah, just a tad,
Yeah, he's got no tact whatsoever, has he?
No.
Oh God! Anything for a story, He doesn't care what people are going through. So that kind of ends that story, really. The cops do turn up.
That runs off your bad guys. You've got your usual epilogue where somebody's been elected, but I don't even think it was Kelly based on that poster she held up. I think it was somebody else. Unless I'm mistaken.
When I looked at that post, she only shows it. She just shows it briefly, and they smile. And I said Kelly at the end. It did say Kelly.
Oh, did it? Well, okay, I must have missed it. And I thought I had another name, but
so what's interesting there is, that things were all good with Kelly. He wasn't anything like he seemed.
Well, he never showed up again after the fishing scene, so it's like, all right. Well, sorry to misjudge you, mate, but yeah,
it's like a big time misjudgment there. Yeah, so he's all right.
So essentially, they're going to reopen a bar, get it rejiggered by the end of the week, and then. Our waitress said, "Okay, I want a drink," and then she alerts her to the fact that David's outside. So off she pops.
And this time she says, I'm not going to be able to persuade you to stay this time. He shakes his head, no. I've got to go. But he's happy enough to know that she's kind of like standing on her own 2 feet now.
It was a common theme throughout the episode, and it was rounded off in a nice circle when she mentioned the phrase, no more leaning on anyone except Josie. So that was her story coming full circle at the end of the episode, where she's able to stand on her 2 feet, basically.
And she can do it now, she's got it sus now.
So, and yes, folks, that was your season 1 finale.
It was.
It was a wee bit anticlimactic for you, but that's what happened in the mid-70s.
So in terms of like as our story for the season, which was doing picking up success as it went along, do you think it was a okay ending?
Well, considering you had 2, well, I'm assuming by this point they already knew they were coming back for season 2. So,
I guess so, yeah.
They didn't really have to rely on resolving a cliffhanger or leaving a major cliffhanger, especially when you had 2 pilot movies. It was one movie, a 2-part movie before season 1, started. So
yeah,
I guess they did free ranges to develop it for season 2 how they saw this.
Yeah, and of course it came back and kicked off with a good 2-parter in the second season, as we've spoken about before. And cemented us. I think from season 2 onwards, it cemented the success of the Hulk. I think that's the moment where it was on the roll, pretty much.
Yeah. There you go.
And it became massively successful, both sides of the.
What network was this again? Was it NBC? I'm trying to remember what network this was on.
In the States, you mean?
Yeah.
God, I can't remember now, man.
Wouldn't it be NBC?
Actually, it could be NBC, yeah.
Was it NBC? Well, either way, if we're wrong, feel free to scave him in Frank's comments. But whatever network it was, they were obviously happy. They obviously knew they were coming back for season 2, so off to the races we go. But this was a solid enough story to wrap up season 1.
Yeah, it was more of an in-depth. It was more of an in-depth story, wasn't it? When they did these ones that were a bit more adult, and dealing with like bigger issues, politics and stuff like that, and
politics, gambling, smuggling,
murder, everything. Everything was in that one, really.
Yep. So there you go.
It wasn't just like an average, like sort of popcorn runaround one. It was much more involved, much more depth,
Yeah.
Which they did very well when they did do it right. They did it bloody well, I think. When they did stuff like that.
There you go.
And there are lots of examples of it throughout the series. That they did stuff like that.
Indeed.
So just to sum it up there, Graham, what's your sort of like final kind of like wrap up of this one?
It's a really enjoyable 45-minute. As I say, you've got a lot going on, so you've got various aspects to keep you going if you like meeting the bone when it comes to your storytelling. So if you like that, then this one's for you folks.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked it. It dealt with sort of things that we wouldn't see that often, in an action adventure series. These sort of more deep things about political things going on, corruption,
especially at 7 p.m. on a Saturday or whenever the hell this aired. So
yeah. Over here, I think over here. Can you remember, Graham, when it went out? I can't remember when. Was it about that time?
I know it was ITV. I know it was a Saturday, but I can't remember the time.
Yeah, it wasn't that late though, was it?
No, it would have been before 9 p.m. It's nothing gruesome or anything.
Yeah.
The latest you probably would have got this was 8.
I think in America, I can't remember what season, but there was one point where they pushed it up to about 9 at night.
Probably depends on the subject matter at the time, or
and I think the Hulk element. Some people found him, quite frightening, and they sort of they put it back a bit later.
By the time you're pushing the early 80s, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the rollerblade derbies when they working anymore.
Yeah. But all in all, really good. It's nice to see. I thought Sheila Larkin was really good in it, and
yeah. Solid actress.
All the cast were good, really. It was again not a huge cast, but all of them were pretty cool. I thought, they all did their
small
bit.
cast, good story.
But all in all, mate, pretty good little action adventure thing there with a lot.
Indeed, 45 minutes of solid stuff.
And it went quick. I thought, is it right again?
When you've got a good story and it keeps you entertained, they tend to go quick. You didn't drag at all.
They do, yeah, exactly right, yeah. So I quite enjoyed that one, man. So
indeed,
I hope you did too, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast as well. And we'll be back very soon with another one. So thanks a lot, Graham, for taking part, mate. I appreciate it.
No problem, mate. All the pleasure. I'll be back soon.
And we'll see you all soon on the Incredible Hulk podcast. And remember, don't Hulk out.